Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook, got Justin Wells, got Coach Dub. We're talking recruiting, as we always do, on Tuesday afternoons. If you're here, let me get that back up there. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and, of course, head to InsideTexas.com. You can get 1 week of access for $1. Come see what we're about. Find out all the great info, intel on recruiting, visits, and more. Today, we've got new rankings to talk about. On3 recently came out with their yesterday came out with their updated On 300 class. We'll get to some of the state rankings. That's kind of the thing that's got us chuckling a little bit. But first,
Charlie's head nodding was getting me, man. He was like a bobblehead.
But first, we're gonna go and talk about the commits that Texas has. Obviously, we've got Max Wright down here. He's not in the top 300. He's in the On3 industry ranking, which aggregates all these different weights. So a 3-star prospect, still sitting outside of the top 300, but someone who, obviously Rivals thinks highly of him. ESPN hadn't gotten to him yet. 247 On3 kind of have him in the same area. Put that all together, though, in how the On3 industry ranking works. He's a 4-star. We'll see. I bet with a good season at Melissa, a program that cares a little bit more about football than Plano, whichever one he was at, we'll see what happens. But Justin, here we got Chris Stewart, number 216 in the country, according to On3. And you had a little news about him today as well.
Yeah, so, Chris Stewart's, he was the first guy, wasn't he? No, the second. He was the second commitment of this 2026 class, and he jumped in early. It was, late last summer, early fall?
June 25th, so about a week after Diabel.
Yeah, man, he jumped in early and often. He knew where he wanted to go. He wanted to get his spot. Caught up with him the last few days. He's going to have about 4 or 5 official visits that he's going to take along with Texas. Because I think Chris understands Texas wants him. They talk on a regular basis. They maintain that relationship, but he's smart enough to understand, they're looking at a lot of other receivers as well. They're going to probably take 4 in this cycle if they can get the right 4. And so Chris is considering that. He's also looking at his little brother. He's got Carter Stewart that's starting to get some decent offers, and they kind of would like to play in college at the same level if they could. I know Oklahoma is a school that's offered both, and they've been in the conversation. But right now, Stewart, he is really taking a mature just a smart approach to this. He's like, man, I'm just going to continue to build relationships, keep getting close to Texas, keep talking to Diabel. At the same time, I'm going to listen to what these other coaches are having to say, trying to help his brother out with his recruitment as well. And so here's the thing. If Chris Stewart signs with Texas, that's good. If he's the floor of a wide receiver class, that's really good. I think this kid is great. I also know that Texas is big game fishing in 2026. They are going for the biggest and best bass in the lake, and that's what they want right now. And so Chris is happy where he's at. He'll be on campus, I believe, June 13th through the 15th. But there's not going to be a lot of movement here until we see more of these wide receiver dominoes start to fall. And I don't even know when that's going to happen. That's probably going to be closer to the summer around official visit season. Either way, he's locked into Texas. Texas is locked into him, but I think they both have their eyes on other things.
Where were some of the other schools he's thinking about taking visits to?
Miami, Arizona State, LSU, SMU. I'm telling y'all, SMU is making a dent. They are going to get some good players in this cycle. That's another school they're considering. Tennessee's in the mix. So, I mean, there's some really nice schools that are looking for Chris Stewart. Oklahoma, there's some places that are pushing for him. Just watch his tape; he's talented. The deal is, it's almost like the rich getting richer. He's a talented dude. You would be happy to have this 4-star in your class. But if you have a chance to sign the number 3, the number 5, and number 7 receivers in the nation, then you got to start measuring things out. And I think that's where Chris and the Texas staff is right now.
Charlie, anything to add onto Chris Stewart?
Really, I just follow what Justin really said. I think like this is a great talent. There's a lot of talented kids in the state. And I think people look at rankings sometimes and they get kind of misconstrued and like, maybe this kid is better than the other. Some of their tape look similar when you look at it as far as speed, height, weight, comparison, all that stuff. I think sometimes you can see just different traits in other kids. And like Justin said, Texas is big game fishing right now. And so you have some other guys out there that, everybody would love to have. But Chris Stewart's a great kid, a great.
Let's I think my connection's a little slow here, so sorry if I'm cutting anybody off. But moving on from Chris Stewart, we got to go to Dia Bell. And what Dia Bell yesterday, he earned 5-star status On3, and I think some of the other sites are very slow to give out 5 stars. They work their way up to 32, but they start out really slow with looking at juniors and even sophomores. But Dia Bell, number 5 overall, earned that 5th star, as you can see. Number 2 quarterback behind Jared Curtis from Nashville. Number 1 player in Florida. Everybody but Rivals thinks he's one of the top players, the elite players in the country. But Justin, 5-star quarterbacks and Steve Sarkisian go together like peanut butter and jelly, it seems like.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you instantly say, wow, he must not have camped at Rivals. That's how that works. But man, when your quarterback is the number 2 in the country, that's the leader of your class already. Sark, they're strategic about this with quarterback takes. They want theirs in by their junior year. They want them to start to be the platform for whatever that cycle is going to bring. And Dia's taking on more and more of that. The biggest thing with Dia, besides becoming a 5-star, and how much he reaches out to players, to wide receivers, to running backs, to offensive tackles. Like, he's interacting with a lot of these guys. He gets it. He's a kid that just gets it. But the other thing is he's almost healthy. He had an injury at the end of last season that knocked him out for the year. He wasn't able to play basketball this year. I know he missed that, but he's been getting back to full strength. He's closer and closer each day, and I think he's going to be ready in the spring whenever his spring training and all that stuff kicks off. He's going to be ready to rock and roll, and I think that's huge because you wanted to see him get back. You wanted to see him get back to where he was because his tape as a junior is just ridiculous. There's not a throw on the field he can't make. He's mobile, but only when you need him to be, which is kind of the trend now. You don't necessarily want the running quarterback like a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson. You want the guy that knows when to run and when to throw, kind of like Arch Manning. I think Dia Bell kind of fits that as well. Yeah. Just a home run kid. That's all it is. Talked to Sark over the weekend. It looks like he's going to have an official visit for either June 13th or June 20th. I caught up again with him yesterday. He didn't have a date yesterday either. We think it's going to be June 20th, but right now he's waiting for Texas to kind of tell him which weekend to come in specifically because there's again, it's strategic with these guys. They want him in front of the most important offensive players. If that's the 20th, that'll be then. If it's the 13th, he'll come in a weekend earlier. And as our boy Brian Pittenger always says, why not both? Well, it doesn't work that way. It could, but it doesn't, and it doesn't need to. Don't make the kid do more than he needs to. He's already helping build this class, put it together, and he's definitely worthy of the number 2 slot. I like him as much as Jared Curtis. I think you can't go wrong with either one of those big boys.
Yeah.
When you watch Dia's tape, Charlie, what are some of the things that you see throughout his that makes him a 5-star right now in On3's eyes?
Yeah, I compare him to the NCAA 25. He has extender, dead eye, quick sleight of hand. Like, he has all the traits, and he has elite development. And coming to Texas, you're going to get elite development, but he has all the traits that you want as a quarterback, man. He's a pocket passer who can take off and run. And when he say take off and run, he probably can go from 60 out. So he has a mentality. He's a dog. He's not afraid to get in anybody's face. And that's a trait that's very rare. He's a leader. And I think that cannot be go unaccounted for. But he has all the tools to really be great. I think he has the mental makeup, who his dad is and what kind of kid he, if he comes from that kind of stock, then he's a tough kid. He's a leader of men. So I think that this is a great kid overall, on and off the field.
When your dad got in Kobe Bryant's face,
yeah,
there's a trickle down effect there. And that's why. And D is the oldest of those boys in that family, so there's a reason he kind of has a little edge about him.
Have y'all, what do y'all think about what could be a race between Curtis and Bell over the course of, the rest of the cycle? Because, hey, Jared Curtis is ranked up there for a good reason. What's it? It's Oregon and Georgia. Does that sound right?
Ohio State's. I think it's Oregon. He's got 2 visits, Oregon and Georgia, right?
Yeah. I think the RPM percentage may be off, but we're going to see another opportunity. It feels like for Sark to maybe get the number 1 quarterback in the country.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some movement there. You know what'll be big will be this offseason. Who camps the most? Who does the best when they go to their respective Elite 11? Who has the best, most flashy 7-on-7 tape? I mean, that's kind of how it gets measured a lot with recruiting rankings in the offseason. So you could have those two kind of jockeying for position. You ask people in Knoxville, they're telling you Faison Brandon should be in that conversation as well. And I like that kid a lot too. But I really do think – and then you got a kid from El Paso, our boy Malay's homeland. You got Jake Fetty. Now, I got to say something about this. Bo Bentley is number 5. Okay, and that's the late riser out of Salina. Yeah. They beat Kilgore in the 4A state championship. Go down a little bit because that means they've got those 2 above number 8. Let me tell you something. That's not going to stick. The number 8 quarterback is not the number 3 quarterback in the state of Texas, buddy. I hate to break it to you. That's not real. Jake Fetty's a great kid, and Bo Bentley's a great kid. Keyshawn Henderson is legit. He is a program-changing quarterback. And when I was looking at these things earlier, I thought Keyshawn would be higher up because he's done nothing but look great. He looked great in the combine. He looked great in camps. He's looked great in 7-on-7. If anything, I thought his stock would actually kind of go up a little bit. If they're dinging him for being committed to Houston, something's backwards here. Because watch the other 4 or 5 guys ahead of him and then watch his tape.
Right.
There's a gap, Charlie. There really is. Keyshawn is legit. That is not a good ranking. And I like Bo Bentley. I think he's been a great riser. He is not the same level as Keyshawn Henderson.
Yeah. We saw him a little bit last year. He looked good then. I was like, and knowing the coach that he plays for, kind of a wide open offense, man, this kid, he's just special. Has special written all over him, man. There's nothing here that he can't do. I think he's going to continue to rise as well. Just wait till the 7-on-7, all the other camps take place, and he's going to be there throwing. He's not afraid of competition. He's going to go there with a chip on his shoulder and show everybody that he belongs in the top conversation.
Wait till he shows up at Elite 11. It's going to be a battle for this kid is going to take it personally. That's one reason I love him. I think he's a gamer. I wish Texas was involved with him. Obviously, Dia Bell's was the take, but man, I love some Keyshawn Henderson, and I think these quarterbacks are good. Don't get it twisted. But these 3 or 4 ahead of him, no. These latest offers are full proof of that. Alabama they see another Keelan Russell. They are all in on Keyshawn. Him being number 8, the 3rd best quarterback in Texas, I don't think so.
One of the other things that we really like to talk about at Inside Texas is fit, and his fit in a Willie Fritz offense. That's going to be awesome. If he was going to, he will, his passing may need some development. I'm not sure I'm from Houston. And I'm not sure what Legacy School of Sports Sciences is. I know it's kind of in the spring area, and I think it's a charter school, but I don't know that. But I do know that, his passing ability is going to develop, and Willie Fritz is going to be able to press all the right buttons with Keyshawn Henderson, maybe as soon as next year. Because how many years does Connor Wagman have left? 1 or 2?
At least 2. He's got 2, I think.
So I think quarterback play is going to be looking pretty good over on Cullen Avenue. Before we keep on going and talk about some of the in-state rankings, we'll toss it to me, and I'll be talking about this. There's only one way to describe Roback. Best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Roback, they are completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Roback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite. With novel polo designs and clean hoodie and zip designs from some of your favorite schools like Texas, it's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Roback's everyday shorts or their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing as well. Both are super comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that's made to have the appearance of a nice short look, but the comfort for a day on the move. Roback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with multiple college football stars like Quinn Ewers. They are becoming the go-to brand for college athletes across the country. Use the code Texas20 on Roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. That's RHOBACK.com and 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with Texas20. It's comfy.
I didn't even know they were. I was wondering where you were getting this gear.
Yeah.
You can. It's a little.
Man, yeah.
I know. All right.
We'll talk about it off the air.
We'll keep on going, and we'll talk about some of the other rankings on 3 released. I don't think we need to talk about number 20 or number 19, but let's have some fun talking. Let me make sure I got the right ones up first. Yep. Oh yeah, these are the right ones. We're gonna have some fun with this. We're gonna talk about the guys who are ranked number 18 and number 17, and that's Javian Osborne at 18 and Tredarian Ball at 17. Jamarian Vincent, guys, do y'all think there's 16 better players than these two running backs?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
No. Not even close. No. This is a slap. Okay, first of all, Tredarian Ball is 5'11", 195. Okay? That measurement is 2 years old. And I hope they're not ranking that off of that because that is old. Right. Secondly, he played some wide receiver this year for Texas High out of necessity for the team to make the team better. And Texas High made a run and were a better team because of it. Plus, they had a running back in Javari Johnson. Tredarian Ball is going to be your bell cow this year. He could have been last year, but he was doing what was best for the team. Yeah, Charlie and I have talked about this, and we're not happy with the way that this played out for a number of reasons. Most of all, it doesn't make a lot of sense because I'll tell you this. If Texas were to sign Osborne and Ball in the class of 2026, there is not a better running back haul in the country. No. There's not. You're not going to get a better duo than those two in the same class. And you're going to tell me they're basically on the edge of the top 20 in Texas? No, sir.
Yeah, this made me go back and watch film over. And after watching Osborne's film, there's no running back in this class has the elite vision that he has. No. He sees things before that happens in his footwork. He can see things. It's so amazing. And see, he catch the ball out the backfield. He doesn't go down on first contact, and he doesn't get caught from behind. Just looking at it, I was like, there's no other guy. This made me go back and watch film. I thought, I got to go compare and see, right? And there's just none out there like that, honestly.
Jamarian Vincent, that's a great pickup for Baylor. There.
It is huge. They've done well. Him and London Smith were gets.
That's keeping 254 guys in the 254. We'll keep on going. 15, Drew Evers. That's not what I want. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Hold on.
All right.
Free advertising for antivirus.
There we go.
All right. We're back. 15, Drew Evers, Caden Finley, and Landon Barnes. Drew Evers, Charlie, that's someone you've been able to cover a lot, and he's someone who maybe his ranking there, top 130, number 128, probably a result of his versatility.
That he also dominated at the camp at Under Armour camp in Melissa. Not too long ago on a Sunday, he went up against some of the top guys, the KJ Ford and others, and he did a great job. I think he really improved his ranking over there because guys got to see him in person. He lined up at center guard and tackle, and he dominated. He had a phenomenal performance there, and so I really think that has a lot to do with his ranking.
Justin, Caden Finley, you can see those RPM percentages over on the right. One of those is based off a prediction from our friend Mike Singer over at Blue and Gold. But this one still seems like it has a little bit more ways to go, including some official visits all over the country. But the ones to watch are the ones to Notre Dame and to Texas, seems like.
Yeah, those are the two to watch. And I think this is pretty accurate. I think he's probably right on the edge of the top 10 in state. You could make an argument he could be inside the top 10. But I think some of these other guys have made really hard pushes at the end of their junior years. But yeah, it's going to come down to Texas, Notre Dame. Texas gets the last official visit. I believe Notre Dame's is either on the 6th or the 13th. He'll be in on the 20th for Texas. There's some buzz around South Bend about Caden Finley because he has some Jaden Greathouse attributes to him, not on and off the field. Just a great kid, great family. But I know how much Texas wants this kid. And I understand in this environment, when Texas really, really wants somebody, they usually get him at this stage. They usually get him. And so I still feel like Texas is the team to beat for Caden. But, hey, South Bend is coming strong.
Anything on Landon Barnes? Not a name.
He's
really
he's
steady rising.
Yeah.
It's like every time you see this kid, he's getting bigger. I think he may be closer to 6'5" now. Like, he's gotten a lot taller. He's filling out so well. But he's the, most people consider him as the other edge at Duncanville, but this guy's good within his own fights, and he's
as good, Charlie.
He is. He really is.
I love KJ, but he is as good, if not more violent.
Right.
He is much more intense.
We'll keep on going into the top 10. Ethan Feaster, number 12. Keyshawn Henderson, number 11. Davian Gross, number 10.
Davian Gross is pure, unadulterated speed. That you're not catching him from behind. You're just not. I don't know if he's a running back. I don't know if he's a receiver. All I know is he is a speedster. Texas isn't really on him. But we're gonna see what Chad Scott does once he combs the state and see if he figures out any other guys he might like a Gross, because he wasn't on the Texas big board before. But this kid, wherever he goes, I don't think he's 6'1". Maybe I'm off on that. I don't think he's that big. I think that's part of the thing that held him back a little bit. And so, but speed, he has it in spades.
Yeah. One of the things with we talked about Henderson already. From my perspective, when I look at Feaster, like that's kind of in a sense, like a celebrity recruitment. Like this kid is going to be popping up on like the random Instagram feeds and like, Twitter accounts just because of his name. And don't get me wrong, unbelievable talent.
Yes.
But he's not, this transcendent talent like he might have been had he stayed in his class. But I think he's rated about right. But I think there's going to be, I don't want to say pressure, but there's going to be clamoring maybe from a bunch of different fan bases because of his name, and they'll see him. He'll be front and center. They'll be scrolling Instagram. He'll be on Overtime or something like that.
He will be showing up to his college just turning 17. He'll be moving into a dorm at the end of his right before he turns 17 years old. This is an example of, I feel like, rushing somebody through. Mm-hmm. Ethan Feaster is going to be a ball player at the next level no matter what. College, pro, he's got it. But there's this emphasis to rush everybody now. And I think we all understand if he goes in a year earlier, that's a year sooner that he can get paid NIL. And that is always going to be a factor.
Yes.
I'm with you, Joe. Like, I think I thought he was better in 2027. And even Ohio State, Brian Hartline told him that. A lot of the coaches, when they came through and found out, they said, that's great. We love you. We're going to continue to recruit you. Ohio State flat out said, dude, this is not the right thing to do. This is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. Brian Hartline just cut to the chase. I kind of agree with Ohio State. I love this kid. He's an unbelievable kid. We've known him since 8th grade. But he's a product of maybe they're pushing him and rushing him through the system a little too soon. The best generational guys, it happens organically. You can't force this stuff, especially at football where physicality is such an emphasis. And he's 15 years old, guys.
Agreed.
I am curious because we've seen this with quarterbacks. I mean, Quinn, obviously. Yeah. I think when JT Daniels did it, it was before NIL when JT Daniels did it, but he did it. I do start to wonder what this might look like for skill position players. We're going to have a pretty good, example, pretty good experiment, I guess to say, with Zealous Hicks at Texas.
Yeah.
And how that goes.
And remember, Zealous was a birthday ahead, though. Zealous is 18 already, so Zealous was held back. If you were held back a year, then it makes sense. Right. If you're right on track, then you're literally going to be a year younger than everyone else.
That's true.
welcome to new college football.
Oh, there's that boy. There's that guy.
Jamian Winfield from Richardson. Charlie, this is one of your favorites.
Yeah, look, I'm glad to see his ranking up there. This kid, he's gonna be even better than what these rankings show.
Yeah,
I think
he
so
should
much
be
room
higher.
to grow. His ceiling is so up here, and he's so much untapped potential. I think he's gonna be really, really good. One of the best defensive linemen in this entire class.
Amen.
He wants it mentally. He has it. He has all the physical tools. He's gonna be dominant, and I cannot wait to see what school he chooses. Hopefully, it's the Longhorns. But him and Coach Kenny Baker got a great relationship with this kid. It's not really no word to describe him. He doesn't talk much. All his action is on the field. He's a smart kid. He learns. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. And the ranking shows that. I would love to see him in the camp setting, go out there and dominate. But I know he didn't come to Under Armour, but he really don't need to.
Where he was in Mississippi before he moved to Texas. I'm trying to look up where in Mississippi he was.
Mississippi's the same.
Richardson's 5A, right?
6A, aren't they?
6A, yeah, they moved up.
So here's the thing. No matter what he was doing in Mississippi, there may have been he's just, 6'4", 290 playing
bigger
in
than everybody.
Mississippi. He's about to be doing this in 6A. I don't know what Richardson's district looks like. It's on the northeast side of the Metroplex?
Close to Plano. Yeah, it's close to Plano, right? Yeah.
So
right.
Somebody is going to be good in that district, basically.
Yeah.
And no matter what, it's a 6A district. There's going to be recruiting media, namely two of these guys here on this video who have closer access to them. That applies for other sites, other school sites, coaches. They don't have to go to middle of nowhere, Mississippi. They can fly into Love and then get out of there. Like this, I think we may see Jamian Winfield rise up in the rankings. Chase Campbell, that's a new name.
He's a good one. He's a speedster from West Texas. He's a good one. I don't know if he's top 10 in the state. I think the wide receivers in state in 2026, it's hard to kind of sort those out right now. I think we need another offseason. I think we need some 7-on-7. I think we need a senior year to see who's who. But Campbell, once he gets the ball, he can go. He may be a little high there. The one to watch there is Jonathan Hatton. Because I think he's almost a silent to Texas A&M, basically. I'm curious if Chad Scott's going to kick the tires on this guy. He's right down the road, and he is also a fun guy to watch. If they miss out on a guy that's a little bit higher on their list, I wonder if they'll hit up on Hatton. But Campbell's a talented guy. Don't get it twisted.
I wonder if he stays closer to home. You can kind of tell that picture's from a tech visit. You
can't hold back. I mean, you can't knock the fact that Joey may have paid somebody to put that ranking in there. Like that's Joey McGuire. Like he's probably talked to the On Three guys. Are like, hey guys, what y'all think about getting some of my guys up here? Come on, did you see what I did in the portal? Did you see what I did in that portal? Watch here, get you some more of this. We need some of these rankings.
It wouldn't be Joey.
Micah Hudson.
It wouldn't be Joey because it wouldn't be Joey's money.
It'd be Blanchard's.
No, it'd be outside the system.
It's a joke. But yeah, if you don't think those guys aren't talking to those guys, think again.
One thing, it is good to see Steele kind of back on the map. I know. Yeah, I think a couple. I don't know.
They have a good receiver there from last cycle too. That I think signed Jalen Cooper that signed with A&M or with Notre Dame, I believe.
Yeah, and so I think some more schools on the north side of San Antonio open. I know New Braunfels is getting bigger, so I think it goes Cibolo. There's one more city, and then New Braunfels. New Braunfels has another high school now. North side San Antonio is always expanding, so I think their talent pool, despite having great facilities, great coaches, just a great community, their talent pool is starting to look a little bit different, but it's good to see some prospects coming back through Cibolo Steel. Here we go with the top 6. John Turntine dropped a little bit in the rankings. Jamarian Carlton at number 5, and then Bo Bentley at number 4. Turntine, it seems like it's just going to be a measurement thing, and then you throw the tape on. You're like, oh, yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, definitely with Turntine. He probably doesn't care about this ranking whatsoever, but he probably got it logged in the back of his mind like, okay, got some guys ranked above me. That's cool. I'll show you on film. I feel sorry for his teammates because he's going to hit anything that moves and prove 8 points. So when you come by in the spring and see him and he's pancaking some teammate, just know y'all did this.
Jamarian Carlton,
Probably the safest pick in this class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not Felix Ojo, it's Jamarian Carlton. He is the safest take. He could be number 1. He could be number 5. He could be number 10, and he's going to have the same impact at the college level really well.
I don't know anything about Bo Bentley.
I do. He's a little gunslinger. He can spin that ball. He was a reason Salina made the run. Is he the number 4 player in the state of Texas? Absolutely not. No. But he's a high riser. He's a guy that can spin it. He's got some legit offers now, and he's going to wind up playing at a pretty nice school in college. So you got to tip your cap. Yep. But actually, if him and Keyshawn were flipped, I would be probably in more agreement because that's just wrong.
All right, top 3: Jake Fett, KJ Edwards, Felix Ojo. Arizona State's probably closer than any other school in the in power conferences.
University of Monterey.
Hey, NCAA could expand there before too long. I remember watching him. He's got the physical presence. Like he's all 6'1", 190. It seems like we don't think of El Paso as a place that produces a lot of football prospects. Or, don't forget that it's a town of, I think, 1 million plus in the metropolitan area. It's got a lot of public high schools out there that really do support football. And Fett looks like someone who is going to be pretty promising for the Sun Devils. And, when you watch his film, it's been a while, but you can tell, like, he's a little bit of a different athlete compared to everybody else he's playing against out there.
He's a dude. Like, I like this kid. We remember we thought Texas might kick the tires here. I know they did some homework on him. I really like this kid. I remember we were talking about him last year at this time. He was flinging the ball, and they were wondering if being in El Paso would hold him back. Maybe the lack of competition, things of that sort. It hasn't. College coaches have been flocking to Del Valle to Del Valle to see him. The big key there is, will he stick with Arizona State? Kenny Dillingham did a great job in that recruitment, but that's going to be one where I think there's going to be some bigger schools come knocking later in the cycle. So Sun Devils are probably going to have to fight off a few guys.
Yeah, I got a chance to kind of see him. When I was at UNLV, we recruited a quarterback, got him to flip actually, and Gail Ochoa. He was another kid about the same size, a terrific athlete, and I kind of saw some film then. So I was like, okay, he got some talent in El Paso. I think people need to start peeking in over there. UTEP should be home for them, but yeah. So people are going to cherry pick out of El Paso for sure.
Well, isn't it closer to San Diego than it is to Houston? So if that's the case, in Tempe, obviously a little bit closer there as well. 2-1, KJ Edwards, number 2, Felix Ojo, number 1. Number 1, it's hard to disagree with. You can debate it, obviously, but this is when you think of left tackles, you think of Felix Ojo. 2, KJ Edwards, though. What are y'all's thoughts on that one?
I like speaking of Ojo. This kid, just talking back and forth, he's like, I'm going to prove to everybody I'm not only the best in the state, I'm the best in the nation. He's been chasing this thing for a while, and he put in the work to get there. He showed up at the All-American Army Bowl in San Antonio. He dominated. He came to this camp on the 2 weeks ago, previous Sunday, and dominated to show that he is that. So kudos to him because he actually chased it, and he wanted to go prove it to everybody. And now he's ranked number 1 in the state. I think that's awesome.
Charlie, I'm surprised he didn't get a 5-star.
Yeah, same.
Honestly,
he'll get one eventually.
Show me a better frame for offensive tackle in the class of 2026.
Yeah, can't.
You can't.
Well, the kid from Missouri, and that's about it.
No. Okay, here's the thing with Jackson Cantwell. Jackson Cantwell does not have Felix Ojo's frame. Jackson Cantwell has genetics.
Yeah.
Olympic genetics, elite Olympic athleticism and genetics. Okay, Jackson is a no-brainer because of a lot of those things. Ojo is the guy that walks across the stage with the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Not Cantwell.
I can see that.
Edwards at 2, is that a speed thing?
That's a little. I feel like it's a little high, but I feel like KJ has earned some of that because he's always been regarded as behind Osborne and behind Tredarian Ball and even Jonathan Hatton and Davian Gross in some cases. KJ is faster than all those guys. He's also 185 pounds now. That's an old listing. He's gotten bigger, thicker. The dude can go. I'd say he's top 5. I'd say he's in the mix. I think him and Osborne are the two best tailbacks in the state, and I think Tredarian is just right there with them as well. But I think this is KJ's this is his playoff run, because if you watch any tape of KJ Edwards, watch the playoffs. When it mattered, that guy went. I think he went for 250 in one game, like 225 in another. These are late into the playoffs. These were important games against high competition. KJ Edwards can go. And you want to be in good with KJ because he's got a little brother in the class of 2028 named JD Edwards, and JD is faster.
What's the K in KJ?
What's that?
What's the K in KJ? I'm trying to find his track times.
Kelvin Jr.
All right, let me see if I can pull that up. Kelvin, maybe not.
And I'm the only one that's allowed to call him Kelvin. He gives me a look. I'm happy for the kid. I think he's earned it. I really do. I just don't understand why they had to knock Ball and Osborne to do it.
I'm trying to
maybe because you put a Chase Campbell in the top 6. Maybe because you put Keyshawn Henderson at number 8 below a Bo Bentley. Like, I don't know. But that's what's fun is we get to – hey, Charles Power and Cody Belair, there are no better guys that do this. Right. And that's why it's fun for us, because we get to debate it and talk about it, especially us three that are in the state of Texas that actually see these guys on a regular basis, so we can give a little bit more intel on it. That's what's fun about this stuff.
There you see Max Wright, 47 in the state to kind of get
He'll be in the top 30 in the state. He'll be top 25, top 30 in the state by the time he graduates. You talk about a frame.
Yeah.
You like Felix Ojo's frame? Go look at Max Wright.
Yeah.
Go look at his dad. These are just giant human beings. The offensive tackles in the state of Texas for 2026 are ridiculous. They are insane. And 2027 is right there.
It's going to be amazing.
If I'm Kyle Flood, I'm not driving more than 3 hours to find somebody. I'm not getting official visits set up with these California kids. I'm not jacking with an Ohio offensive lineman or a Florida offensive lineman. I'm focusing on the best tackles in the next 2 classes, and they're about 2 or 3 hours from campus.
Yeah.
With y'all there. Another great edition of Recruiting Intel. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for coming out. Make sure, if you have not already, to go to InsideTexas.com. You can get $1 for 1 week of access. We're sure you're going to want to stick around during the off season. And then if you're already here, go ahead and give us a like, subscribe to the channel. You can hit subscribe by going into the bottom right of this screen. Click that little bell, and that'll get you subscribed. So, Justin, thank you so much. Coach, thank you. We'll see you next time on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.